The water was a sheet of black glass, disturbed only by the slow, lazy arc of the vacuum head. Maria's shoulders ached, a familiar companion to the 2 a.m. shift. The chlorine-scented silence of the community center pool was her domain, a world of echoing drips and the low hum of filtration systems. It was monotonous, but it was hers. Peaceful. That's why the ripple unnerved her. It wasn't from her vacuum. It started in the deep end, a single, perfect circle expanding where no one had been. She straightened up, clicking off the vacuum. The sudden silence was heavier than before. Plip. Her head snapped towards the sound. A single drop of water hit the surface of the pool, right in the shallow end. She looked up at the high, corrugated ceiling. Dry. Shaking her head, she muttered in Spanish about needing more sleep, and turned the vacuum back on. Its drone was a welcome shield against the quiet. She worked her way around the edge, her mop bucket squeaking a lonely rhythm. Her reflection in the dark water wobbled, a distorted, tired woman. Then, another reflection joined hers. Maria froze. It was pale, with dark, stringy hair plastered to its scalp, and it was right behind her. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She spun around, mop held out like a spear. The pool deck was empty. Nothing but the rows of fluorescent lights reflecting on the wet tiles. Breathing heavily, she turned back to the pool. Her own wide-eyed face stared back. Alone. "You're losing it, Maria," she whispered. That's when she saw it. Under the water, in the deep end, a shape. Pale and still, hovering just above the drain. It was a child, a little girl, her white swimsuit glowing in the murk. Her eyes were open, black and unblinking, fixed on Maria. A jolt of pure ice shot down Maria's spine. She stumbled back from the edge, her breath catching in her throat. The girl didn't move. She just hung there, suspended, a porcelain doll forgotten at the bottom of a well. Maria fumbled for her radio, her hands trembling so badly she nearly dropped it. "Carlos? Carlos, are you there?" There's someone in the pool." Static hissed back at her. The water in the deep end began to churn. Bubbles erupted around the girl, but she remained perfectly still, her expression unchanging. The water level in the pool began to drop, as if a giant plug had been pulled. It sloshed and gurgled, swirling around the drain, but the little girl didn't move an inch. She was anchored. Then, the lights flickered. Once. Twice. On the third flicker, the girl was gone from the deep end. Maria's eyes darted frantically across the dark water. Where did she go? A soft, wet sound made her look down. A trail of small, glistening footprints led from the pool's edge, right up to the toes of her work boots. She followed the trail with her eyes, her head slowly tilting up. The girl was standing directly in front of her, so close Maria could feel the cold mist rolling off her translucent skin. Water dripped from her hair and pooled at her feet. Her eyes were no longer black, but a milky, dead blue. She opened her mouth, and a stream of murky pool water cascaded out, followed by a gurgling, watery whisper. "You're not alone." Maria tried to scream, but the sound was trapped in her frozen throat. The girl's hand, cold and slick as a fish, shot out and wrapped around Maria's wrist. The grip was impossibly strong. The last thing Maria saw was her own terrified reflection in the girl's dead eyes, before the world tilted, and the cold, chlorinated darkness of the pool swallowed her whole. The water, which had been draining, now rushed back in, filling the void. The surface of the water finally stilled, returning to a perfect sheet of black glass. The vacuum, still running, continued its slow, mindless path along the bottom. A single, new ripple formed in the center of the pool. Then another. Plip. Plip.